Every acre, every drop of water, every hoof, it all runs through my hands.
Welcome to the Consolidation of Power, Part 2. Murphy stepping aside for Dolan, McSween rising as a rival,
The law is the law.
Katrin waiting to scoop up land, Fritz and Brady still in play, and Garrett stepping onto the stage. In the mid-1870s, Lawrence G. Murphy was the dominant merchant of Lincoln County. His store supplied soldiers, ranchers, and settlers alike. But by 1876, Murphy was in decline. Illness, likely cancer, left him frail, and his fortune was weighed down by heavy debts. Into this vacuum stepped his junior partner, James J. Dolan. Dolan was ambitious, shrewd, and far more aggressive than the aging Murphy. By 1877, Dolan was already signing deeds, negotiating contracts, and managing the store alongside John H. Riley.
Sign here, McSween.
While Murphy receded into the background. With the backing of Thomas B. Katrin of the Santa Fe Ring, Dolan effectively became the new face of the business. Ironically, one of Dolan's transactions during this period helped empower his future rival. In September 1877, Dolan, Riley, and Murphy's firm sold land in Section 29, Township 9 South, Range 16 East to Alexander McSween. At the time, McSween was simply a lawyer investing in Lincoln real estate.
A deed in my hand turned into a death warrant before the year was out.
But within months, he would ally with John Tunstall and stand directly against Dolan in the conflict that erupted as the Lincoln County War. The war ended on July 19, 1878, with the McSween house in flames and Lincoln scarred by violence. Just 5 months later, Dolan's own empire was crumbling. On December 20th, 1878, Dolan and Katrin deeded away a cornerstone of their holdings, the house, store, and corrals on Main Street, to Will Dolan and Company. The property was recorded in Book B, page 241, Section 29, Township 9 South, Range 16 East. Dolan, a mill operator and merchant, represented the new generation stepping into the void left by Murphy and Dolan's decline. The very next day, December 21st, 1878, Dolan signed not one but two extraordinary agreements. The first pledged that Dolan and Riley would transfer their real estate and personal property to cover debts. Katrin, the ring's lawyer and land baron, now stood ready to seize what remained of Murphy Dolan's assets. The second agreement cut even deeper. Dolan settled accounts with Katrin, Spiegelberg, and the Second National Bank of New Mexico. But buried in the legal wording was one remarkable caveat: safely remaining in Lincoln County.
Do you want to safely remain in Lincoln? Write it down, then.
That single phrase tells us everything about Dolan's position. Once the most feared man in Lincoln, Dolan was no longer bargaining for power. He was bargaining for his very right to stay in town. He may have refused to sign unless this clause was included, a guarantee that, even stripped of property, he would not be forced out of the community he once dominated. These agreements weren't filed until late 1880, long after Murphy was dead and Dolan's finances were wrecked. By then, Katrin and the Ring were liquidating what they could, while Dolan's empire had vanished on paper.
I believe this concludes our business.
Other pieces fell away too. In May 1879, Dolan deeded the Brewer Ranch to Spiegelberg and Lehman, likely as collateral. But even that collapsed. In 1881, Brewer's estate transferred the ranch to George B. Barber, showing just how shaky Dolan's claims really were. Taken together, These documents reveal both the rise and the fall. Dolan inherited Murphy's empire in the late 1870s,
No, stop.
but with it
You
came
can't just
crippling
take
debt.
everything. This is my
By
town.
1880, the pillars were gone. Dolan and Company owned the store.
Safely
Catering
remaining in
and the
Lincoln?
Santa Fe Ring held the
What
liens.
is the meaning of this?
Spiegelberg and Barber picked up the scraps. And James J. Dolan, once a kingmaker in Lincoln, had reduced his fight to a single line of legal text, the promise of safely remaining in Lincoln.
Well, at least I get to stay.
Stay tuned for in-depth coverage on Fritz, Brady, and Garrett.
Even from the grave, Murphy says, click subscribe, or I'll haunt ya.
Cut! Let's do it again, partner.
What the heck? Where did you go, partner?
Excuse me, who was James Dolan?
Didn't he race cars?
Excuse me, who was James Dolan?
Didn't he rob banks?
Excuse me, who was James Dolan?
He pitched for the Yankees.